You are tuned in to What a Baltimore Online Radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed are of the host and not of Lady J Media. Thank you and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining Mental Wellness Coaching with DWendell. Your session begins right now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a little bit of a late start today. I am the host, Lady J. We were talking and we were having such a good time. You have to stay tuned for some upcoming shows, conversations. Um, Today we're talking about the battle you're fighting that you don't see, the battle that you're fighting that you don't see. The just logistically, again, my name is DWendell Smith. I'm a retired psychotherapist, master level clinical social worker. I've been in practice for over 30 years. I'm retired now and doing mental wellness coaching. The purpose and direction of mental wellness coaching is not therapy. It goes a little deeper than therapy, and we function with helping people become mentally strong and well uh, through through the mind. Allow me to share something with you, a thought. Um, God has given you, and I'm coming back to that. God has empowered you with to do with your mind. Let me say that part again. God has empowered you to do with your mind things that are more powerful. Your mind is more powerful and effective, uh, than any medication or any. Um, let me start again, please. Forgive me just a little bit. God has equipped you, empowered you to do uh, with your mind things that are more powerful and effective than any medication, any threat, any sickness, or any neurological challenge. Your mind is equipped to deal with that. And as the title for today's conversation is the battle that you don't see, the battle that you don't see, and that battle is a battle for your mind. There are so many forces out here in this world, systems in place that's trying to get control of your mind. And why do they want control of your mind? Because once they control your mind, once your mind is under their control, then you do their bidding. We all are familiar with the account of the recent events in Atlanta, I believe it was, where this young man um, went into these various massage parlors and places, and he killed a total, I think, of 10 people, including the police officer. And his thought was that because had a sexual addiction, he had a sexual addiction, that he was going to remove from around him all the temptation to his sexual addiction. So rather than deal with himself, rather than deal with his own issues, he chose to di- direct outward. His mind was no longer under his control. He was blaming other things for the state of his own mind. So again, we're talking about this battle for your mind, for control of your mind. We have said earlier in some of our programming, ask ask the question: where can you identify clearly for me? Can you identify your source of strength? Where does your help and support come from? Who is your help and support? I'm not talking about your mother or friend. All these people and these things, people primarily, they play a major role. But your strength, the source of your strength is what? And when we look at and when you examine where your strength comes from, then you know that that strength, that source of strength is what carries you. That source of strength is what emboldens you, empowers you to wake up every morning and put one foot in front of and put one foot in front of the other. So again, what is your source of strength? Uh, for myself, and it's not coming from a spiritual perspective. I come from a God-fearing perspective because when I use the Bible, when I read the Bible, understand when I read the Bible, it's not like I'm reading a newspaper, and this is not a spiritual presentation show. The reason I read the Bible is to transform me, is to transform me into this being, this person of strength. Is to help me get outside of myself and connect with my very source of strength. This morning, we're looking at, well, actually this afternoon, we're looking at the a Bible text out of Ecclesiastes 8, verse 1. And the Bible says, gain wisdom, gain wisdom. And so we ask this morning, where, given what strength is, where does your wisdom come from? Who do you counsel? Who do you consult with? Um, because you know there in wise counsel, there's a multitude of wisdom in wise counsel. So we come up to the question again. There's a battle going on for your mind, and you can see it on every hand. The Democrats want you to think democratically. The Republicans want you to think Republicans, then this in the political arena. The liberals want to be liberal, and the list goes on and on and on. So, where's your source? Where do you seek counsel from? Um, when I look at my counsel as coming from God, that is an all-inclusive. That is an all-inclusive counsel. In that God um, puts in His plan, in God's plan, um, He has the best possible plan for you individually if you choose God. Now understand, I am not referencing religion. I meet with a group on Monday nights. We're on a Zoom call, and it's not part of our belief and our the core of our understanding is that it's not religion, it's not a building. So we're talking about something bigger than, greater than religion. In absolutely indeed, it's greater than religion. We're talking about God Himself, God Himself being intricately woven into your life and interested in your best outcome. No, no, I take that back. Now, He doesn't want your best outcome. He doesn't want your best outcome. He wants indeed the only outcome that will give you the only thing that's going to bring satisfaction to you. Part of our mental mental wellness understanding is that uh, we are living our best lives, and we know that. Now, when we had said earlier that there's always a battle going on for your soul. Think about this, think about that, do that. And everything, the way some of the world comes at you, is to appeal to your lower nature, to your lower nature. Understand what I'm saying? In appealing to your lower nature, it tells you that if you wear this cologne, if you wear this particular outfit, if you do this or if you do that, then you will be indeed measure up. But inevitably, as soon as you get to that pinnacle, there is something, there's something that tells you, no, you're still yet not enough. So that will bring up the question: who are your friends? Who are your friends? And if you look at your friendships and your relationships, do they tend to point you in a direction that helps you gain the most strength, helps you get the most out of the day? You know, what we have learned as an expression, not an expression, it's a truism, that the enemy of best is good. What we mean by that is instead of getting the best, we get something that's good enough. That's good enough. That's good enough. No, no, no. You can have the best. I took a walk this morning. I've determined we're gonna do the simple things in life that add to life enjoyment, that adds to life enjoyment. Walks, friendships, conversations that are uplifting and not depressing, um, conversations and encouragement, empowerment from people who enjoy the various things of life, enjoy a cool breeze on a warm summer's day, that enjoy sitting down and looking at the ocean and being okay. Simple things in life. We sometimes tend to think it's something big and great out there. It's not that. It's the simple things in life. So with this mind that we're talking about, God says, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. What does a sound mind look like? What does it sound like when you're in conversation? What does a sound mind sound like? It is it sounds like more than encouragement, and it's more than a car, it's more than something material, it's more than all of that. A sound mind is so fulfilling and rewarding that that indeed. And how do you get to that? How do you get to that? One of the ways we've talked about on the show is to have something I call deliberate and directed rest. Deliberate and directed rest. What does that mean? Deliberate and directed rest is where you come apart out of the course of your day. It could be the first thing in the morning, 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes in the morning, where you, not where, when you meditate, not on something etherical or something out in space, but you meditate upon how wonderful, how magnificent you are as a person. You don't need a drug. You don't need alcohol. You don't need cigarettes. You don't even need a particular brand of clothes. Just to meditate about how wonderful a person you are, how intelligent you are, how brilliant you are, how creative you are, and the magnificence of the day, the magnificence of your day comes in the unfolding of how you're able to bring joy to someone else's day. Simple things. I was in the grocery store line a few months ago, and I did not have enough to complete my whole purchase. And the person in front of me said, "Go ahead and get it," and she paid for it. Made my day one. I was so thankful. I was so thankful. She made a difference in my day. So the question comes up, and we're talking about your mind, this battle for your mind, this battle of always trying to make yourself first, trying to always be number one. I got the best. I am the best. I look the best. I'm uh, too much. That is a destructive mindset. That is a destructive mindset. The notion and the mindset of how can I help someone else today? It's not always material. It's not always dollars and cents. Sometimes, oftentimes, it's a word. It's a word. Someone on my Monday night group we talked. Someone was saying that they met a man that was homeless. I don't even like the term homeless, truthfully. I don't like that term homeless. That's a person without a home, but that's homeless is it has such a negative connotation. Homeless, it's just a negative connotation. I'm not fond of it. Anyway, he said he met a homeless man, and the man did not have any shoes. So he gave him some shoes that God had told him that he put in the trunk of his car, and he gave the man the shoes. And the man wore a size 10, and he was a size 13. But so the man walked around with 13 size shoes on, but he had shoes. He had shoes. Understand, you wake up in the morning. Your purpose. Understand your purpose precedes anything else. The reason you are here. Put allow your mind to travel to that notion for a little bit. The reason you are here, you are a piece of the puzzle. And on any given day, you are that puzzle piece that someone needs. Nothing else matters. And it may be just something that your child needs. It may be something that your wife or your husband needs. And when we learn, again, understand part of this battle that's going on for your mind is to get you to hold on, and so that you're so wrapped up into your own pain, your own hurt, your own world, your own anger, your own emotion, to get you so wrapped up in that you're that piece of the puzzle that's bent. I'm not particularly fond of that challenge. Anyway, you get a piece of the puzzle ends up there, and it doesn't quite fit in. It doesn't quite fit into the space it's supposed to go in, and that's frustrating. So don't these type of events, these type of activities that come up in your life, they're trying to get you away from where your purpose is. Your purpose is to be that piece of the puzzle. And you can't be your own puzzle piece. There's a notion going around of encourage yourself. I hear you. Encourage yourself. Be your own. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Guess what? Some people don't have bootstraps. Now I know that's an old connection, but some people don't have bootstraps. But you can pull yourself up by then. There's a saying out, and what is it? Self-preservation. Self-preservation is the first law of man. That's a lie. That's a lie. You can't preserve yourself because the battle that we are fighting is so far above your head, and the effort is to control your mind, control your thinking. If we can control your thinking, remember what I said about Carter G. Woodson in his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. He said, if you whip a man down, man or woman, if you beat him down often enough, long enough, and tell them you got to go through the back door, you got to go through the back door, that sooner or later you will not have to whip them again. They will automatically find that back door. They will automatically go to that back door. And that is because they have learned some system. You've sacrificed your mind to them. You've sacrificed your mind. So we come back to the point of what is your source of strength? What is the example you follow every morning? Who do you follow? Who do you listen to every morning? Who and if you leave your home and you have not centered yourself, understand, I said centered yourself, you have to deliberately connect with your source of power. And I'm not talking about, just waking up and say, well, I'm gonna give this away, I'm gonna take that. No, 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 no. I'm talking about centering yourself. Center yourself in a position of where your purpose gives you drive and motivation. And all of that comes from living in wisdom and trusting God, trusting your source. I'm going to use a little illustration here. Um, there's a story told about a group of people, men that were going out into nature just to photograph some naturistic events. And I pray that you can hear me. And this group of people, they were in Alaska, and they were fishermen. And what the tour, not the tour, but what the fishing boat captain would do, he would have fish and he would pump air. Stay with me. He will pump air. He will fill the fish with air. They were dead fish. He will fill the fish with air. And then when the fish were large and bloated up, he would throw them in the water. And what would happen from high above, eagles would leave their perch. An eagle would leave its perch and come down, and the eagle would see the fish floating in the water, and the fish wanted to eat the eagle. I mean, the eagle wanted to eat the fish. Forgive me. And the eagle would come down and circle the fish about 3 or 4 times and not pick it up. But then the eagle would swoop down and scoop up the fish. And the sound of that, and go eat the fish, and the sound of that was like a whoosh, or whoosh sound. And they thought it was magnificent to see the eagle soar down and come down and get the fish, and they will be photographing this event. Well, as they went out day after day and pumped the fish up and threw it in the water, one particular day the eagle came down and circled the fish 3 or 4 times. Just circle around the fish 3 or 4 times, and then would take off and not eat the fish on this particular day. Well, another day, they would throw the fish out again, and the eagle would come down, or an eagle would come down and circle the fish 3 or 4 times and fly away. Then another eagle came on this particular day and circled the fish 3 or 4 times. And what was believed was that the second eagle that came out was a baby eagle. It was a baby eagle, and the baby eagle would swoop down and scoop up the fish and take it off and take off. What they surmised was that that was the mother eagle teaching the young eagle to fish. And one day it was the young eagle that came out and circled around and came down and picked up the fish. The baby eagle takes the fish. And what was surprised from that was the baby eagle learned fast. My reason for sharing this with you is that look at the awesomeness of God. If God can plant instinctually in the fish, in the eagle, what to do, where to eat, what to look for, think how much sense God put into the eagle. Think how much more sense He's put into you. Remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The reason, one of the reasons that we have these times where we sacrifice and give over our minds to bad emotion, negative habits, things like that. The reason we're doing that is we had to learn and we've been trained. We sacrifice our mind. We sacrifice our peace. We sacrifice our joy. And we've given it over to sources that we do not know where they're taking us and directing us. Um, again, one of the things that we have to learn to do, whatever your source of power is, whatever your source of power is, it's your choice. Whatever your source of power is, then trust it to do what it's supposed to do. Trust it. Trust the word. How are you communicating with me? As I say, I am a believer in God. So I go by what the word has said for me. And when I learn to trust that word, it is like it is like iron sharpening iron. Because every morning I wake up knowing there's a purpose built into this day. There is not a mission, it's not a mission, it's a purpose. It's a purpose. And every day I walk in the fulfillment of that purpose. Um, Not living foolishly. One of the things that this battle that these people that are fighting for our minds, they try to tell you how to live your day, that you can waste time, as it were. Um, God does not have us wasting time. It's always, and it's not stress, it is always something great. And when I say great, I don't mean where the paparazzi is following you around. You're such a wonderful, whatever. You know, they want to know every step of your life. No, that's not God's way. So whatever source of your strength you have that you are pursuing, connect with Him every morning. Meditate upon the magnificence. Your heart is beating. And I find the heart, for example, fascinating. I find the heart fascinating. One part of the chamber takes blood away, another part takes it in, and while the blood is circulating, it's being cleansed and oxygenated, and it goes through the whole body. Every part of the body gets some blood, and it comes back, and it comes back through the heart. It comes back into the heart clean. It's just magnificent, wonderful. I mean, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. You can even meditate on that. How how For an example, I went to SeaWorld, and they were giving a little bit of history on Shamu, the whale. And you know, the whales got eyes on both sides of their head, right? And God, so it's so wonderful that when they look at something, both eyes function to come to a point of looking at a particular thing as it is. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Um, Now, lately, one of the things I've been looking at in nature for me are trees. Trees. Trees can live for hundreds of years. Two more examples, and I'm going to close our time off here. And I want you to remember, you have to connect with your source of strength and have a regular dialogue, just about your purpose, what you're doing. And one other quick example, uh, out in the Midwest, it was told of a hailstorm that was coming up. I mean, big balls of hail falling. And on this particular day, the chickens were trying to get from the yard where they were eating and being out, and they're trying to run to the barn. And there's this mother hen that's going for it, trying to get to the barn, trying to get to the barn. And the hail is starting to fall. The hail, these big balls of hail are falling and bombarding them. And as the mother hen is running, she stops and opens up her wings, and all the little chicks, however many there were, ran up under her feathers, and she enclosed them, and the little chicks never got plummeted. Understand that your power source, your source of strength, your source of confidence has to have the ability to protect you no matter what. The God I'm talking about says, I care so much for you that I know what you need before you even ask. And I want more. I want more good things, more better things. I want more good things for you than you could ever even think about for yourself. But you have to learn to trust him. We have to make a choice, a decision, not a choice. Because when you look at it, there are only two choices in this entire universe, in this entire world, in your entire life. You only have two choices. It's either for good and tending toward life, or it's evil and tending toward death. These things that we spend our lives pursuing, we spend our lives going after, chasing, building wealth, gaining money, all of that. Okay, I hear you. The Bible says that all of that gaining, all of that getting, when you leave this planet, somebody else is going to get it anyway. Somebody else is going to spend it, and it's going to be somebody probably that has not worked as hard as you work. They're so glad auntie or mommy or daddy or granddaddy, whatever. They're so glad you left me that thank you. Gone. And we are soon forgotten. So understand, as far as working, and I brought this up, understand as far as working, pursue your passion. What is your passion? What are you passionate about? You're passionate about just making money? Okay, well, I don't know how all that brings happiness. Uh, Money does not bring all that happiness. Look at some of the people that's got the most money. And the Bible says the essence of life as far as work goes is that you enjoy the toils of the fruits from your labor. That's all. That's all. You know, in Ecclesiastes, and I'm trying to head to a close with this. In Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, verse 10 talks about a dull axe. If you go into the woods and you have a axe and you want to chop down a tree, and you take that dull axe, I've done it. I've done it. I'm not a farmer. I'm not a frontiersman. I'm not none of that. I was going to chop down the tree because I wanted some firewood for my fireplace. Keep me a little warm. So I took that dull axe. I didn't know it was dull at the time until I took that axe and I laid it at the root of that tree. I want to tell you that axe bounced so far back that my whole it reverberated. I'm there shaking, holding the axe because the axe was dull. It could not chop down the tree. But when the axe was sharpened and I was able to strike the tree, strike it, and the tree fell and we were able to have firewood. Understand. A lot of us, because we're losing the battle for the mind, we are foolishly living with dull axes. We're foolishly living with dull axes. Sharpen the axe. Let your source of strength, your source of hope, let that give you the oomph that you need. I thank you. Recognize you can make a decision to live a life of wisdom with a sharp axe. You can make a decision to let this wonderful life is wonderful. It's powerful. Things happen. Oh man, things happen. Things that we cannot explain. Names that are going on with people that have died senselessly, innocent people, and we can't understand. But in all of that, keep control of your mind. Live a life on purpose. Be the puzzle piece that makes a difference in my life. Be the puzzle piece that makes a difference in some senior citizen's life. This pandemic, which has us isolated in so many ways. Don't live foolishly. Foolishly. They had spring break down in Florida. Not judging what people do, not at all. Spring break, thousands of people down there without masks on, partying, having a good time. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. As for me and my house, I am going to wear a mask when I go out. I don't know. Every tub has to stand on its bottom, and everyone has to give an account for the choices that you make. Remember, it's only two choices. Either that choice is going to tend to lead you to a life enjoying the simple things in life, the sunshine, the freedom to have someone love, to have someone love you, to have someone love you, to have someone say, "I'm glad you're home," or do they say, "I'm glad you're leaving"? I digress. Um, the battle is over your mind. Who will you surrender your control to? Again, my name is DWendell Smith. I'm a master level mental wellness coach where we teach techniques, methods for you to control your mind, control your thoughts, thereby changing your life. You can live a life not of euphoria, but a life of completeness, a life of fulfillment, a life of enjoying the breeze, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the laughter of a child, the song of a bird, enjoying trusting, knowing that you don't have to figure it out, but you have a father, a power source that will hold you up and not and guide your footsteps, guide you in the way that you should go. And the way that you're guided to go will bring life, will add years to your life. You want to add years to your life, quality? Some of those in my generation and above, we have this quality of life we're living is so not fulfilling for some of us. We have ailments. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. This used to work. That worked very well a few years ago, a few weeks ago. Hey, yesterday it worked well. But to add, again, coming to the Bible, uh, the Bible says, when you let this mind be in you, and you think about things that bring a smile to your face, when you can lay down in the evening and knowing that you've not done anyone wrong, you've not lived a life of manipulation where you have to hide. These are stressful things. You have to hide and duck people. Where you've dealt with every man honestly. And you know what? The beauty of it is, the beauty of all of this, at any given time, any moment in time, you can turn this whole thing around. You can stop being that person that's known as a manipulator or a liar or a thief. You don't have to live that. That's a hard life. That's living life with a dull axe. And that's where you always have to look over your shoulder. Is this thing coming back on me? Is that coming back on me? Let it go. Let it go. Again, this is DWendell Smith. I am your mental wellness coach. 240-626-6849. uh, heart mind connection at icloud.com. I expect that we're going to have our website and our website up next week. I'm trying to get it done this week. I'm a little slow. It takes me a little longer to learn. But you have to understand there's an order of operation. There's an order of operation to your life. You cannot jump out of sequence and you're going to get wrong answers. So I want to thank those that support me in that way. Um, Miss Shelley Rainey, thank you so much for your support and what you're doing to add. Um, uh, and some other people, Cynthia Allen, that's encouraging. I, I hate to begin to call names. I have support groups that I'm a part of. What is that? Ministry outside the walls. We meet on Monday night, and the term we use is chop it up. We talk and encourage each other. I have a family meeting every Monday morning where my sister and brother, we're there to support each other. Words of encouragement. Check your friends out. Do your friends add to your life? Do they add words? Do they point you in the right direction? These things matter. Every thought, last thing I believe, every thought occupies mental real estate. Don't give away your real estate freely. Don't just give it up. There's a battle that you're fighting. Win. Win. Thank you so very much. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday, and be excited. Live on purpose. Have a good one, guys.